We've got a bunch of things to open, but first, in this past week's porch spam flyers, Princess Auto has this sale on $17 for these storage bins on a cheap plastic wall-mountable rack. There's 18 small, 3.5 by 4 by 2 inches, and 12 larger, 6.25 by 4 by 3 inches. And I didn't expect this to be top quality or anything, but looking at the price and just making a decision like, if I'm willing to say each of these blue bins are worth between 75 cents and $1, and then the red ones would be half of that value, it kind of works out that I'm willing to spend this. Instructions. So the red ones are not as deep and they're not as tall as the blue. Otherwise, let's see. It's not the most rigid plastic, but it's okay. It's not the worst either. I don't remember where I got this old one, but it's a lot more sturdy feeling. And I like this hook on the back where you can hang it on a rack. It's all the way across. These new ones are kind of minimalistic, but I'm not planning to weigh them down too much either. Let's just put it together, see how it goes. Of course, this wall mount bracket is very cheap plastic, already kind of warped up a bit. I guess if you screw this down to something, it might straighten out. And there it is. It really needs to get hung up on a shelf or something. So basically anything that wouldn't go in these regular part storage trays. Giant alligator clips. Stickers. Uh-oh! This says 3.5 millimeter. So it's either going to be an audio jack or cable. It's a jack with screw terminals on it. And I've already got one of these. This is a backup because it's good to have multiples. And I want to get different kinds as well, like with different numbers of conductors, like maybe 4. This one's a 3. And some have male, some have female. So I've been putting these things to use lately with audio projects. And this makes it really easy to go to a breadboard with the screw terminals and then have a regular audio plug going into here off to an MP3 player or some other audio source. Or if I'm going the other direction, out from a breadboard or other PCB, then I can plug in a cable here and go to the input of an amplifier. We've seen this product in another recent mailbag. It's a 3.5 millimeter or 1/8 inch stereo female jack to screw terminals. And like the original one, I also got this one at auction, 78 cents, no shipping. It took me a while to win the bid on each of the ones that I bought. So now I need different ones, like maybe mono 2 conductor or the 4 conductor so I can get the microphone or the audio, and male, female, all the combinations. So when it comes down to it, whatever I need, I don't have to go looking around for a spare plug or a jack or cut the end off of a cord. I'd rather just have useful things like this. Now these 3 I'm going to count as one item because I think they're all the same kind of thing. And that thing is a surface mount resistor, because each of these say quantity 100, but one of them says quantity 100 resistor, one says SMD chip, and the other says quantity 100 expansion board modules, not likely. And the reason for ordering these as 100 quantity, I've got other surface mount resistor kits with diverse parts in them, but then for those certain things like a 1K, a 10K, that you're going to use a lot more of, I've run out of those, so I need to stock up. So I'll zoom in on these and see what the values are because it didn't say on the package. 472 is 4.7K, 102 is 1K, and it looks like I got some 0 ohm jumpers, because sometimes a blob of solder on an 0805 footprint is actually hard to do. 0402, no problem. You touch the soldering iron between the 2 pads and it's done. But this, I kind of find the solder balls up on one pad or the other when I'm trying to make a short. So hey, just get some 0 ohm jumpers. So now I'll still have all these rather obscure values in here, or otherwise common values I haven't run out of, but now I can throw these in and stock up on the really common ones. For 100 pieces of various values of 0805 resistors, The going rate is about $1.31, and that's what I paid for each of those lots of 100. Expansion board module right here. And what is this? It's something all tangled up in the packaging. Oh, there's a couple of different things here. Huh, 3 packages. Okay, one of them has some 8-pin dip sockets. Looks like about 25. There's 19. There's 20, not 25. And what are these 2 things? They are 8-pin chips, and I'm not going to mess around trying to open that. 2 times AT Tiny 85 in a through-hole dip package, finally! Up till now, I've been permanently borrowing surface mount AT Tiny 85s off of Digispark boards like this one, but now I can finally breadboard it. On AliExpress from DIY More, I bought the AT Tiny 85 for $1.36 each, and 2 lots of 10 pieces of 8-pin dip. And including shipping, back when I was looking on eBay and AliExpress, at least at the time, this was pretty much an okay deal, so I went with it. And I only wanted 1 or 2 AT Tiny 85s anyway. I could have gone for a lot of 5 or 10, but just having 1 and a spare will do me for now. So it's good to see these various dip sockets coming in. I think now I have some of these 8 pins and 14 and 16. I don't remember if I received them yet, but I'm also waiting for 20-pin sockets. And I think I ordered another batch of these 8-pin because this was only 20 and I probably was trying to get 50 or so. So I may have ordered 50 or 25 more of these. But as long as I have something in stock now, because things were running out. And I'm always doing PCB projects, so I really need to stock up on sockets. This one says acrylic rod, and it's probably one of those few times being obscure is also accurate. Well, this is hard to remove, but I got it now. It was sticking to the inside of the package. So these are both bonded together by this label, which has a bunch of random looking numbers. Don't need that. I'm thinking I can cut this down into smaller pieces, and that makes a nice light pipe for various LED projects. Lining these up on the mat here, it looks like foot long, 30 centimeter times 2, and it's 5 millimeters wide and tall. So if I cut this up into tiny pieces, that could make some interesting effects for putting together an LED display. There's lots of different acrylic bars, rods, square, circular. I think I even saw triangular. I can't find the listing I had, but I had 5 millimeter square by 12 inch, 300 millimeter, 2 pieces, and it was $2.63 for that set of 2. So let's just look at one of these as an example. 5 millimeter by 5 millimeter and whatever length. And there's not much point in looking up the description or uses on here. Makes a good light pipe. What's a light pipe? A clear tube that can transmit light from a source like an LED over some distance without really losing much intensity. So if you have some LEDs on a board in an enclosure that aren't right at the surface where you're going to view them on the outside, whether it's just recessed in or even if it's at 90 degrees, you can get a light pipe that will bring the light up to the front panel. The LED can be sitting perpendicular and all is well. So I'm going to try a few little experiments with this kind of material and see what happens. This is called audio line, and I don't know, that could be anything. It could be an IC like analog delay line, I don't know. No, it's a cable. Kind of looks like a piece of string though. Yeah, it feels like a shoelace with an audio plug and jack on it. So yeah, see what I mean? It looks like a shoelace if that's showing up properly. And it does kind of look a little thin and flimsy, but the idea, again, for doing stuff like this I can bring audio into or out of all the various projects. And I want to get a collection of both adapters and cables that can do all kinds of changes between male, female, or even different styles of audio connection. So some of them I might want to get 1/4 inch instead of this 1/8 inch. I paid $1.11 and no shipping for a 10-foot stereo 3.5 millimeter male to female. So this one here looks closest to what I ordered, just I didn't pay $5 shipping. And there it is. It really looks and feels like a piece of string. But basically I bought it because it was relatively low cost for the amount you get, and I wanted it pretty much to do things like this. If I have an MP3 player sitting off somewhere and then a breadboarded project somewhere else, I can bring the audio over to wherever I'm working and then use whatever other adapters so I can get the wires in and out of the breadboard circuit. Well, as always, thanks for stopping in, checking out what's going on. Special thanks to Patreon supporters who help fund all of this. Definitely appreciate that contribution, and we'll see you on the next video.